Good whatever day, time of day, and date this is. Apparently this is Wednesday at 11:17. So the unfortunate thing of, let me turn this down here. The unfortunate thing of going home and trying to do things, and trying not to have anything to do, is you have things that you have to get done all the time. There are things that we need to get done so we can get our yard cleaned up. And the following videos, you'll see. And I got there, you'll see. I'll just post this next set, and then after that, I'll discuss things that I discovered while doing what I had to do. Good Lord, my hair is like, hey, this is Wolfman Jack. I got a haircut. I mean, look at this. This lady, I told her, I said, I want it cut to about right here. And she just all about trimmed my neck completely off. I mean, if the thing was any sharper, I wouldn't even have a head on my body no more. All right, y'all, hold on a minute. Here we go. Adventures in small town Hickville.
All right, I bought this rinky-dink car trailer. Apparently it's rinky-dink. Trying to get this up here, and this is bent. See that? It's bent. Trying to get this Cadillac up here. Of course, Cadillac's too low any daggone way. We're gonna take this sucker to the junkyard, but it won't go up. So this is what we're doing. Get this hoopty out of the way, and this is how you do this. Get yourself a tire, stick it in the middle so you don't bang up the thing, and then you gotta have somebody drive it so you can pull around the other junker, and then pull around our crappy fire pit. So here we go. Let the games begin. All right, see how that works? Push out the way. Junk in the yard. Back end still fine. Back end still fine. That was already there. Now I got room to push this junk and to push this junk. I just got to squeeze myself in this hole with this little Honda and give it a little push while the come along does some of the work bending the trailer. Okay, my phone's overheating, so this might be sketchy. Now, this is a heavy car, right? And this is an old trailer. I'm bending my thing still. But we got to the point where it was on the ground on the ramps. And let me show you something. This is what you need to do. Get your rims you got laying around your yard, because you know you white trash and regular people got them laying around your yards like I do, because nobody wants to buy old Jeep rims. Your hardest point on a fulcrum or a pendulum, as my wife calls it, is certain points of the peak. And where I was at, pulling from here with the front end barely on the trailer, like what is that, 3 feet on the trailer, 4 feet maybe, and the back end all the way on the ground, I'm pulling every single bit of weight that's now on the rear end, even with me moving it from the front to the bottom. So now I did that, leveled it off, and the other part is I'm on a slight incline. I'm like on 2 degree grade or something like that, so my trailer still has an upward tilt, but this fixes the issue, because here she comes. Yippee-ki-yay. And that's the end of the story for now. Hell yeah, man.
And we're back. Wasn't that exciting? So, things to note while you are hauling junk cars out of your yard if you've never done it before. All right, let's start with, I got home Friday afternoon. Friday. I went to Florida and got a load. I went and dropped the load in Florida from Red Bull, I think it was. Something like that. So I've been running Red Bull loads. They're not bad, they're just heavy. And Red Bull is annoying up here sometimes. They like to run behind schedule, although the companies I've been running them for have been paying their detention. So I'm not really complaining about that. And they were good paying loads. I booked myself enough to come out of Florida at $4 and some change a mile, right? I had a water load ran to Rural King in Ocala, I believe. Not sure. I think that's what it was. Or my pickup after that was in Ocala. Anyway, I dropped my Red Bull, and then I went and for the next day, I had booked 2 loads back to back. I booked a load of water, picking up around the corner while I was waiting to get unloaded from the Red Bull. I had it 4 miles away. I had it picked up for $405. Yeah, I know. You shouldn't start your truck for less than $500, but this is why I did this, okay? So I grabbed this load because it's going to take me 40 miles up the road. And then right after I booked that load, there was another load that I had been looking at that was 40 miles back to where I started from almost, and picking up and going to Jacksonville. And that would have rounded me up $1,000 at approximately 177 miles, plus 40 miles of deadhead. So 215 miles or so, or maybe 210, whatever it was. It was like right above $4 a mile. To go from where I was at to Jacksonville. The only problem was it dropped Saturday morning. The second load dropped Saturday morning. The first one was supposed to drop later in the day, but I got there, and the guy said they do this all the time. The load wasn't supposed to be there until Saturday, and I told him, I was like, dude, I can't hold on to this. I can't do it. I got to load up. He's like, oh, let me get my forklift person to get done here and we'll unload you. So they took care of me, and then I went to the second place. Now, the mega brokerage firm, was clowning around. So I got there 3 hours before or 2.5 hours before my pickup, something like that. It might have been 3 hours. I don't remember. I think it was 2.5 hours. And I sat there and waited. The pickup number was incorrect. And the guard check was trying to tell me, oh, well, it's got to be in this format. Well, this is the format I got. It's the exact right format that you get. Is a 6-digit number starting with 25 or 35. I don't know. They're like, look, go park over there where these other trucks are, the Landstar guys and all. Park over there where they're parked at. And talk to your dispatch and see if you can get the right number. So I sat there. I waited an hour. I shouldn't have waited that long. I don't know what I was doing, but I waited an hour and 10 minutes before I called back the brokerage and said, look, because I put a request in through their app, and it said this is a hot, what did they say? This is a critical load or a critical event currently because you're already there and we know you need this. So they didn't contact me back. So I finally called up and I said, look, what up? As OTJB says, word up, smack upside your head. Anyway, so I waited and I waited and I went back and forth with these guys. I kept calling them back and they sent a message saying, oh, well, Jasmine said it was okay to get loaded. And I said, what you fail to realize is the guard check will not let me pass this point. They won't even tell me which direction to drive to get to the other side. It said at the old Kmart facility. They got a few places inside of that place now down there in Florida. And anyway, so that's where I was, and I had to wait. And then I was an hour or so after. I kept going around and around. An hour or so after my pickup time, they had still screwed around and told me stories. And I said, look, I called the guy up. I said, look here, dude. I said, this is unacceptable. I've been here 4 hours trying to get this pickup number with this 6-digit code, and you can pull me off of this. I went home. I said, screw it. I didn't get home till like 10 o'clock Friday evening. So I wasn't able to do nothing. Anyway, that leads up to right there. I did get detention off of that, though. I mean, not detention, a VNU, a TONU, VNU for you Schneider guys. So, anyway, this junk stuff laying around my yard, had to go. So, the Cadillac had died, and don't know what was up with that, and it wouldn't steer. So the other issue I ran into, one of the issues I ran into with that car was apparently Cadillac in that year model or around that year model put something plastic inside the steering column where if it broke, all you're going to do is get clicks and the steering wheel just turn completely around and crap. So that apparently broke too when we were trying to load it up originally from its breakdown. The car sat for months, right? And I wasn't going to let them come pick it up because the price at the junkyard was like $420 or $430 to bring that car in. They pay 11 cents a pound, I think. So, but then they have a pickup fee of whatever. So I was only going to get $200 off the car. I was like, I'm not taking it in there for $200. So I ended up with this trailer, and I got about half my money back off of both of these cars that were in the yard. And anyway, so I got that. The problem I ran into with the Cadillac is that's a really heavy car, and there was a ever so slight incline that it had to climb. So once I got to the pinnacle of where the Cadillac was on top of the ramp where I showed y'all, it wouldn't budge, and that's a 4,000 pound come along, which is what the ratchet thing is I was using. I don't have a winch on there. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to keep the trailer and put a winch on it or buy another trailer. That trailer does not have brakes on the tires, on the tandems, so it's a little bit harder to stop. That's another thing to consider if you're thinking about buying an older trailer from somebody. Think about what you're going to be using it for, because the heavier the heavier the load you're putting on there, the more problems you're going to have slowing down and stopping. And you're going to have to drive not like a swift driver, but like a very conscientious, slow grandma type driver to make sure you can stop in time for anything, regardless of what kind of vehicle you got. And you remember, you're slowing down before that trailer's slowing down, so you can run into issues like that. Anyway, so at that fulcrum point where the Cadillac was, I couldn't get it up. I tried pushing it with that little Honda we have currently that I'm trying to get rid of, and it still wouldn't budge. Even with, I had tons of tension on the come along, and it wouldn't move. So I had to back up and stop and think for a minute. I'm like, if I level this car off, it'll move a lot better. Can't guarantee it'll move at all, but it should hypothetically move. So yeah, I had, and pardon me for calling anybody white trash or whatever, people got junk laying around. I got all kinds of junk laying around my yard. I've been trying to get rid of those freaking Jeep rims forever, but I'm glad I didn't now. So these two rims, there's 4 of them. And that's another thing. Hey, when y'all need tires, don't just look at tires. Look at tires with rims, because those Jeep rims had the exact tires I needed for this Navigator years ago, or the Cadillac, one of the two. I think it was this Navigator. Had the exact right tires on there. So I had bought the rims with the tires for a really good, reasonable price. I think it was $350, maybe $400, and the tires that I want, that I got to get now, are like right at $400 with mounting and balancing, just for 2. This thing all the way around. I want the Michelin LS2, whatever. They got a really good temperature rating and a really good road rating. The only problem is the heat. There's one thing that's lower in quality than the next, than the good. It's not Goodyear's. Michelin Goodyear. BF Goodrich. There's a BF Goodrich, but it has a lower UTCG or whatever that is for tires. Anyway, so I got those. I had to order some tires for this, but I I got it up there. I jacked it up with the floor jack. I got a lowrider floor jack, so I was able to jack up the ramps right there. I jacked up one side, threw a rim up underneath it, and then I jacked up the other side, and it got right on there. It was awesome. The other car was really light, and I just pushed it with a Honda all the way up the hill. And then, did you cancel? Not yet. I just pushed it all the way up the hill, and then got behind it with a Honda after I staged the car trailer and pushed it. There was really nothing to video there, and pushed that thing right up onto the ramp, the trailer. And that one was really simple. Just let it go and load it up on the trailer and be done with it, and strapped it down. That's another thing. I bought some, but I haven't put them on there yet. If you're buying an older trailer, they won't necessarily come with there's a latch thingy that you can hook, that you can mount onto the trailer to put your straps. You can hook your straps into, instead of hook them onto the and I'll feel more secure once I do that if I get any other loads, heavier loads. But I'm not planning on hauling any 4,000 pound cars or anything like that. I mean, that's got a 5,000 pound weight ratio. It's not the best trailer in the world, but it's super sturdy. It's more heavy duty. There's a place called D&E, Down to Earth, D2E, down here, that has a really bad reputation on trailers. I was looking at trailers from them. I looked at trailers from the people down in Richmond Hill, and they wanted like $5-6 grand for a trailer. And it does have brakes. It did have like the trailer brakes and all that. I mean, I got a brake system in here. It came with it. This thing had the tow package. So I'm all set up for that. I'll upgrade later on. Maybe, if I actually have a use for a more expensive trailer, but I probably won't, because I don't use trailers a lot. I just needed a trailer to haul the lawnmower to the property, and I needed a trailer to haul the cars off, and that served as double duty. And I got rid of both of the cars, and half of the trailer's already paid for. So now all I got to do is get rid of that Honda. I was going to try and fix, but I'm not even going to mess with that thing. I might fix it. I don't know. I got rid of the OBS. I got $1,000 for it, and so I took a slight loss, depending on how you look at it. I did take a loss on the truck, but I mean, it's a non-running truck, and everything's tore down. I told the guy about it, and he was like, well, what do you want for it? And I was like, $1,000. That's as low as I'm going. The money I was going to have to invest in it, I wasn't going to get, because I was looking at fix it, get the motor running, and go get me a King Cab small pickup truck that has bucket seats. So that's not going to work. So he's got the kit and everything. Truck's been there for a week in my yard, so hopefully he'll pick it up today. He said he caught the flu, but he's better now. Like, okay, whatever. I was like, maybe you got drunk and bought the truck and didn't know where you got the title from. Who knows? But I contacted him yesterday. He said he'd be right there today, maybe, to come get it. I don't know, but I got to get back to work. I'm looking for loads, possibly for tomorrow. It doesn't look like today. And that's the other issue is you get home, it's so hard to try and get anything else done other than work that needs to be done. Which kind of sucks, because I have people that I want to go visit, and I can't even do that currently because of the crap I got to get done. So, but I got lots more crap to do before I can start saving for the house. So, yeah, we got floor repairs. We've got a container to buy for storage. So we were looking at another shed. Sheds are like double the price of a container, and I have a location I can put the container that has been cleared out on another property. And then I'm going to move everything over there. And then I'll have enough room, and I'll be able to get people to do the repairs that need to be done in my house. And if I have to, I'll stay there another 2 years, as much as I don't want to. And boy, living in the country, some of you city folk don't know about septic tanks, but, you know, I'm glad it didn't happen like my neighbors. My neighbor's septic tank, they kind of collapsed, and it backed up into the house. So they had to move out. They were renting that place. I'm sure that was nasty. He said there's mold and all kinds of crap in there now. But ours wasn't backing up. It just was, you would flush it and it would act like the toilet's clogged up, except stuff would go down, but the water wouldn't work properly. So, anyway, different reactions of plumbing and stuff. But yeah, I learned a little bit about towing crap with the non-brake trailer and what to look out for. There's also some requirements that, depending on where you live at, like if you live in the country, there's certain requirements for trailers that are under 30 feet long that do not apply. They're mandatory, non-applicable requirements. You got to have, like, I got to look it up again, but I could have sworn it said you got to have marker lights on the front of the trailer and the back of the trailer, along with the brake lights and the blinkers, etc., etc. Whereas that trailer only has... Why are you jogging? That trailer only has the brake lights, parking lights, and the side marker lights mounted into the brake lights. I had to rewire those. I didn't put that on there because I kind of messed that video up. But they wired it backwards, so I wired it forwards, because whenever you had the parking lights on, you had no brake lights. But that's fixed now, so I got that. And you're supposed to have insurance, you're supposed to have a plate, you're supposed to have markers, and you cannot tow in the state of Georgia. I don't know about anywhere else, but this was years ago. Somebody that owned a trailer company told me, he's like, you cannot tow using a bumper hitch anymore. You have to use one of those, either the U-Haul hitches or the ones that are actually mounted to the frame, which is kind of stupid because the older trucks the bumpers are mounted to the frame. So you just got a little bit more strength out of it. I don't know. This thing didn't even have chains. There was no safety chains, and those are DOT requirement. I had to add $100. Well, I didn't add everything to it yet, but I bought $100 worth of crap to add to that trailer. But, you know, hey, such is life. But I'm going to find another load. I will tell you this, since I know some of y'all are probably curious about last week. I only ran a few loads last week, and we are looking at... I got to take my truck in the shop anyway. Last week, I had 1, 2, 3, 30... I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 43, 47, almost 5 gross off of very low miles. I don't remember what the miles was, but it wasn't bad last week. This week I got nothing. So the detention and the short water load ran over and rolled over into this week, as well as one of the last loads from last week. So, but this month to meet the gross, I've only got 825 to go to my desired. I'm already over on my required, just barely, but that does include the fuel. So we're doing good on that. It's been a good month. Next month, I look forward to being pulled over by the DOT for a light check. Because I will be working during Blitz Week. I don't really have to. I mean, I could start like a few days after that, but I'm not doing that. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day.